is the Divine Sunshine coming to you with your current energy reading for the Divine Feminine and for the Divine Masculine reading. So let's just kind of jump right on into it. I hope that you enjoyed the 411 event this past Saturday. If not, please make sure that you do go to risewithjupiter.com to make sure that you get the videos for that. She's already brainstorming, cooking up that she's going to have another event in which I have agreed, and also the playground experience is also agreed upon to be a part of for the Lionsgate, which is called The Rebirth of You. I helped to kind of lend that title. I have she keeps on reminding me, like, you have the gift for naming things, so that means you have the gift for manifesting things. Did you think of that? And I was like, oh, lightning bolt moment. So that is something. Did I bring out those cards? I did. That is something that I'm excited about, how that's going to come, especially we supposed to be moving into some new energies as well. But I'm not going to spoil it because, well, she kind of gave you a snippet of what I said for April. And if you go ahead and you get that information, that would be very helpful as to letting you know about what to expect coming into the future. It was a channel message that they told me, those who are ready for it. And I only gave it exclusively to the 411 event. So if you want to hear that, and there's some good stuff in there, make sure you go to risewithjupiter.com and see that. So now let's look at the overall. We had a moon energy that we had here lately, and I just want to kind of know and see what was that energy clear. How did it affect us overall as the collective? Expect powerful changes. Very good. The new moon eclipse. Okay, I don't think we have any eclipses, but it doesn't matter. I use it to see about the moon energy, because moon energy deals with our emotions. So right now what we're doing is expect powerful changes, okay? And how are we expecting powerful change? So we did that. So now the powers that be and source wants us to really start now looking at what areas, in order to understand how these expect powerful changes have affected us. So what are the areas that they want us to, oh no, I'm not a whatchamacallit, but it's saying that because I don't want this. Seems like it's the same cards over again. Just want to make sure I make it legal. You tell I'm not a shuffler. I don't do that. I don't profess to be. I don't work for Vegas. I'm a teacher. I don't work for Vegas. I'm not a dealer at Vegas. So this is how I and spirit we work out things. Evolution. Me like it. I see that. So right now, through our sacral and our solar plexus, because those are the two dominant. I see a little tinge of red in there. So you got a little bit. You get grounded and rooted. You start from the roots. I hear like Drake said, you started from the bottom, now you're here. You starting from the bottom, now your whole team's freaking here. So again, once you starting create that root and start from now, my whole team here is like I told in the 411. I give you a little snippet. Once you start doing, you will have resources and things will start to come and attract to you, rather than your soul family, material things that you need in the 3D. If it's somebody that you need other resources like people to help move things, or things to kind of move around, or either angelic or spiritual help that you need, you ask for it and they'll just start moving things around serendipitously for you. So it's the evolution. So these things are coming along to help you, because they're dealing with the areas that you need to learn, which is, where's my famous thing? here, which is learning to deal with some of you all need a powerful change in your finances, some instability, and you're in survival mode. That's represented just a tinge bit in your red, because I could hear, I had a client, she's talking, I ain't got no financial issues. I said, well, the red did pop up, so something's there going on. So it's either you or it could be your divine masculine, but finances don't have to always be in the money. It could be a form of abundance. Okay, and so in that little bit of red that you need to kind of deal with in your evolution, which is going to help you to understand that you're happy with exactly what you have everything that you need. You don't need to ask for anything more, just like what I said about they're going to supply your every need. You just ask for it. The evolution, like I said, they're going to bring it to you. And then on top of that, you have to surrender. You're evolving. This is a powerful change. A lot of times people do not adapt or take change well. They like the comfort zone. They like the devil that they know. I always tease. I know my dad was one proponent. He didn't like too much to change the thing. He just liked it the way it was. He didn't. My mom, she's the same thing. My mom, she claims she's open, but she doesn't like change at the beginning. And once it's here, then after a while, she will adjust to it. You might be the same way with her. You got the orange here, which is represented by your sacral energy. So with the sacral energy, you have feeling stuck. So you need to work with that, because if you're feeling stuck, you won't be able to evolve. Stagnant, which means you're staying just in one spot and not moving. But if they're telling you a powerful change has been given into the universe, into the energies, as far as the planetary shifts, because the moon has caused this to happen, then, and you're feeling uninspired, then you have to shift, because this is going to help you to reconnect with yourself, nature, inner child, and movement. We talked about more so the inner child happening and occurring for the divine masculine during these times. I know Jupiter 11:11 has said it. I know I have said it. These things that are really helping you to make you stay stagnated in your thinking. Those are the things that you got to work with. And then we have the color yellow here represented, which is, again, in your solar plexus, which is that you're working with being scared and uncertain about things. You're uncertain about the change. Like I said, you don't know what's going to happen on the other side of this. You also are doubting yourself, because like, okay, if I do change, now what's going to happen? Okay, and so you need to move from that energy to understand, yes, I'm worthy of this change. If this is going to make me better, then yes, I want that. And then your own values, those things. I think about also, and that was a very good, I didn't know that thing Jupiter 11:11 has shared today on the separation video about the little girl and Jesus with the bear. Which was very good, and how she said that the little girl had like a torn teddy bear, is all sewn together, and he was like, well, one hand he was like out like this, and the other hand he had behind, but she couldn't see that he had a brand new spanking big gigantuan bear that was behind, and she's like, I don't know, I'm gonna give her my favorite teddy bear. For what I'm going to get in return. That's the same thing like when we talk about change. We don't know what we're going to get in return, But again, in order to begin something, you got to end something. You got to let it go, And that's the same thing with us with these things. Like right now, we don't know if you're in the coronavirus thing. You don't know where your help is going to come from. You don't know with the job. You might have to say, well, I'm going to have to let this job go because right now it's not paying me. So now I got to go ahead and just keep it pushing and go find me another job. I don't know what that's going to entail, because now I got to start all over. Or right now you haven't heard from your divine counterpart, and now you're saying, well, I think I'm gonna have to let it go, because right now evidently I can't get in touch with them because they're in quarantine, or if they're in a third party situation, or if they're in a karmic situation. There's no communication. So at this point, it's no sense of you staring at the cell phone, wait for it to ring, look at your emails, wait for them to come at the door, and you waiting there, and you might as well just go ahead and live your life until, because maybe just like in that scenario Jupiter 11:11 had given us, maybe Jesus or the source or the powers that be and say, we can bring you a new and improved DM if you just let that other one go. So like I said, I always say that you let them go, and if it's true, they'll come back, about the whole situation. But also letting you know about the old self, Let's talk about the evolution and change in who you are, your old principles, your old ways about doing things, and then understanding with that you letting go and don't know what you're going to turn into. Like I know myself as it is, but now for me to really turn into this divine feminine, or excuse me, I'll truly be the divine sunshine that I am. I don't know if I'm able or capable of doing that, so I might say I just want to stay just the way I am, and they might say, well, we're taking you got to kind of open yourself and be a little bit more vulnerable than the way you are now. This ain't gonna work. So this is where the evolution that they're taking us to. Okay, so that's good. So right now this moon brought on energies of a powerful exchange, a powerful change within us, which calls on this evolution to ascend higher, which seems like it's expansions. We came from expansion, and to me, as it going up, it's getting smaller and smaller. So to me, it's like we're losing some of those things that go back to that NASA analogy that I had used, where the higher up you go, the more things you lose, because you don't need that. The higher up and altitude, you don't need those things. So that's what they're saying. So now let's look into the energies with the divine masculine first. Remember, with the energies, I look and see what's happening in. I wish I had like a better card, but I can't trust that, because is that feminine? No, these are guys. Now it's making me think about it. But what would be more of an earthly thing for the feminines? I usually use that. Say, let's do an experiment. Since I don't have nothing that's like around it in more of a physical 3, yes to do. Maybe I will use the, I do have some chakra cards, but I'm getting pointed to these energy cards. Let's look at the 3D energies for the ladies for that one. Okay, so let's start out with the divine masculine 5D version. So so within, so without. So we're starting with, as it says in the Lord's Prayer, as on earth as it is in heaven. We know that a lot of things manifest in the 5D and it works its way down. We're going to look and see in the 5D realm, how is it affecting, or things are being changed. I'm going to use the divine feminine for that one. How are things being changed for the divine feminine? What things is being worked out in the 5D level. So we're going to start off with the masculine. Stop. Right here, because they're broken down. I forgot. I got 2 sets. This one's my clarifiers. These are my own divine masculine cards. If you're interested in getting them, go to divineunisouls11.co. They're $44. That includes shipping. You got 2 decks in one. One has the major and the minor, and the other one has clarifiers that are made up of alpha male characteristics. Okay. All right. So now let's go into that. Yes, some of that I'm not kind of happy, but I don't want to use the karma cards for that either. I need to get like some true feminine energies with that to be for that one. So we'll just use them for the time being. Okay. All right. Sorry, me talking and flapping my gums. What's happening in the divine masculines in the 5D? Okay. Whoa. Okay, so I got for this one right now in the 50, they trying to deal with this duality that's going on here, trying to like the 2 energies that are going against right here. What is the duality? They're dealing with the duality. What's the reason for that in the 50? That's what I thought. They're trying to deal with this duality in the 5D and the 50DM because they want them to be more assertive about what's going on, and they want them to become an individual, okay, be their own, not being so dependent on each other. So this is what they're working on in the 5D. So it will come down. So most of the time I'm picking up, they saying like a month to 3 weeks, or start from 3 weeks between that span and work its way down for. So right now, this is what the influence of the 5th D, or it could be for me to pick up. It's already. We'll see when we get here. So this is what's been cooked up in the 5th D. Okay, like you think about the restaurant. Behind that, we sitting at the table. We waiting for them to serve what they got. We put our order in. So right now, the DM50 is cooking this up back there in the kitchen. Okay, the next thing we have here is ruler of one's own wealth. So it's trying to help him to be more of a person who has a handle over money. Majority of the time, not all, but a good majority of the divine masculine have this financial thing. Either they got the money, but it's like a big issue about how they're spreading it, how they're spending it, or they don't have it. It's something around financial things. Okay, and let's clarify and see what's going on with that. I've seen it. Because he's got part focus on it. So to me, it seems like it's like he wants them totally to kind of get it together by understanding that abundance is your birthright, and stop kind of like half in and half out. That's that duality. And I got one foot in, got one foot out, and he doing the hokey pokey, and he needs to turn himself around, because that's what it's all about. Divine masculine. Just on that part. So the next thing we have is pointers. Diving deep into one's emotions. So they want them to take a deep dive into their emotions. Clarify for me, what's that about? It's like hierarchical structure. Okay, so again, understanding, almost back to this evolution. There are structures, there are steps, there are levels in order for you to be able to get to that and into your emotions, and seeing which emotion rules over what. And so that is what he's got to get the understanding of, which emotion is actually really has true reign. I mean, we got the fake one, like they said, just like in the tarots, you got the page, the knight. One of them's got more hierarchy than the other. As far as when you talk about the structure, who has more rulership, more ownership, more dictatorship than the rest of them. So this is what he's taking a deep dive into. Like, what level are you actually on? This is what they're showing to me. Are you page of cups? Are you knight of cups? Are you queen of cups? Are you king of cups energies? Which one, where are we at as far as in our emotions? So this is what they're dealing with in the 5th D. Okay. Now, when we talk about the divine masculine and the actual 3D in the physical form, what's going on with him? Clear. What I see with the divine masculine, he looks like to me is like he really, when I first came out, it looked like he said, I really want to talk to you, because right now where I'm at, it's a lot of madness. I would not be surprised if he has tried to communicate with you and maybe wrote the text and then erased the text and like, forget it. Just forget it. Just forget it. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And he wants to be able to find these right words for him to be able to say to you. He wants to have, because this is really the same exact man. This is interesting. Same exact man. Behind the scenes, looks like this could go several ways. This could be an energy I'm picking up that he's kind of going into. So like maybe some of you all, he might have communicated, maybe 50 and in dreams, you all kind of came together. He feels like to me, look like he's like, I really don't want you, the divine feminine, to say really nothing at this point. It's just like, let me just speak. I almost hear him like saying, let me just speak, my love. Let me just speak. Let me do all of it. And you kind of like looking at him like, I'm kind of concerned. I feel your heart. Your hand is on his heart. And like, he's really trying to say, just really feel my heart. Don't say anything because you might ruin the moment with what you're saying here. You got the bluebird here, which again, he's not understanding why he can't get altitude or ascend right where he is. Everybody can fly over the rainbow. Rainbow is union. But what's going on with me? Why I can't have this union here? He's sitting on logs, which to be representing some type of foundation that's here. That's interested that he's holding your stomach, which to be is in the area of it's not up high, it's really down, your sacral. So he really wants to make that connection, like that sacral energy, which we talked about earlier, to help you evolve in the feminine. So I'm picking up a fork in the road. This goes two ways. In his, when I look at this card, in his emotions, he really wants to get in touch with his sacral energy, which is being able to make that connections with his thinking. In doing so, he really wants his emotions to really kind of help him, to guide him and really feel about things. That's why he's touching the chest, because in the chest there, it's like I really want to make this connection between my emotions and the way I'm thinking. And I want to put more heart in it. Sometimes they say it with heart. Say it with heart. I don't know why. See, there was some games they say, you got to put some heart in it. Like really back up and get you some courage about what's going on. You keep on saying you can't understand what's going on with anybody else. And so I see the goat energy here, which to me is also one like a climber. You're going to have to climb some challenges. But to me, I'm seeing here that this masculine energy with this torch is like, if you got the enlightenment, it's going to light the way. And he's in front of it. It's almost like, I'm going to get in front of these trials and tribulations or whatever this mountain is that's going on here. But I see this dove here. So in all of it, he just really wants peace. But I also pick up still again at the beginning that the divine masculine really wants to have this intimate talk. Like if he could talk to you and just have some time intimately, like away from everything else, he would. He just feel like if we just sit there. And I think about what that brought to me about Scandal. Remember at the beginning when they had President Fitz and Olivia Pope at the beginning, they used to have, sometimes he's like, just give me 20 seconds. And I remember that was there, and he was like, what? You'd be like, what is that? So they would go off to some place, and they would just actually just stare at each other. And it was just like, in that staring, they had sent all that information just from eyes to eyes. And it looked like them doing that, they had resetted each other. And then it's like, when it was over with, it's like, okay, I can go back into the world now. That's what he seems like I'm sensing in this card. It's just like, I just want that 20-second moment. Just give me 20 seconds. And just let me connect with you. And then I could go out there in the world and handle what I got to handle. I just need that time. Because right now, he's in madness here. Okay. And his thinking is just like, he's thinking about this superstition thinking, which is like, if I think a certain way, it always ends up being like this. He knows that he wants you to be his sweet treat, his last thing out of everything that he wants to have. He has enlightenment. He's got the candle lit there. Again, and he knows in his emotions, he definitely knows what he wants. It's getting rid of the illusions. The curtain is now pulled back. No more deceiving about that. The door's open right now, and he knows exactly where he wants to head out with. But he's still dealing with this madness in the 3D. Okay, so this is why they're saying about this duality. You stuck in the madness, but then you still know what you want, which is your divine feminine. And so that's why there's like, you got to be the 5th DM is like, dude, you got to be like, I used to talk about that. Sometimes you do wrong, like, dude, come on now, wipe your nose or whatever I tell them. But it's like the DM's higher self is like, dude, you got to get assertive with this. This duality stuff just ain't hanging here. You got to be your own man. You are all over the place. You partly focusing on stuff. You want this. You want to be a ruler of your own money. Then let's get fully focused on some things. Stop all over the place. And then also, dude, you need to deep dive into your emotions and really start leveling up. Okay? That's what they want you to start doing. You need to start leveling up. Go through the hierarchies. What are you? You page, then take it one step at a time. Become a page, become a knight, become a queen, become a king. Then if you're scared like that, baby steps. Just like when they tell babies to take steps. They don't give them all of them. You see the little baby take one step, they do one foot, same foot on the same step. 1 foot, same foot on the same step. If you got to do that, then do something, dude. But just don't be staying in that one spot. Don't do that. That ain't going to work. Okay, so for the divine feminine, what is the energies this week for them? Clear. And the higher self for the divine feminine is what? What is she working with? She's working with quite a bit. Okie dokie. We have for the divine feminine in the 5th D. She has Rita Cassia, the patroness of impossible causes. I am miraculous. My prayer creates powerful channels of possibility. The divine feminine in the 5th D is really sending down to the 3D version of the divine feminine. Then listen here, you're a miracle. Miracle is just aligning with the things that you are really justly supposed to have. Like prosperity is your birthright. Understanding that your prayers is just getting aligned, and remembering also to get aligned with what you're talking about. It helps to affirm it. It helps to give words. It helps to give form. It helps to give validity, and it helps to confirm through prayers about what you actually want with that. I always see here, I remember a minister, it said that one time that prayers ain't really for God. Prayers are for you. Because either he already knows or source already knows what you want before that. But you just affirming and telling them like an order when you go through the drive-thru and you telling them, listen here, I want a number 5 filet-o-fish meal with sweet tea and upgrade the fries to large. This is unlike you doing in the 3D order and stuff. When you get to the window, it's sauce, and they say, I already know what you want. You want a number 5, don't you? And you want a filet of fish with the and you're like, well, dang, you a man, Rita? The sauce said, I got you, boo. I already know what you want. Just drive around and go to the other side. We're going to give you your order. This is already what they know as far as this. So your prayers are connecting you and opening up the channels, they're saying, of possibilities for you. Okay. This is what they're doing. That's why, I ain't going to say no more about that. So, this, because I almost spilled some of my sermon that I did for, my sermon. Oh, I'm a reverend, a minister now. Some of the things that I said for the 411. Get it. Then you know. Okay. Next one. Dakini. The enlightened feminine. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. What they're doing is understanding that they're making your 5th D of self is making sure that now they're sending to you that your intuition is strong. Like they would say, my game is strong. Your intuition is strong at this point. So you are allowing, they say that gut, you getting to the point that now that you're trusting those visceral or those body connections, they're sending it to you. Say, ding, okay, wait a second. Like I said, the fork in the road. Definitely when I get the fork in the road, it's like a pit in my stomach that say, that. You need to kind of back that up and go the other way and tell them another way about that. It could be, sometimes it's 2 meanings because it's multi-layers to it. And sometimes it's like, no, fork in the road means back it up and go down the street the other way. You going the wrong way on what you just told. Okay. So this is what they're saying. Just like I trust that instinct when it tells me that, that's the same thing you're going to get. Like some tell me, I think I want to call it DM. Like the other day it did. And I kept on saying like, nah, let that go, let that go, let that go. Let him go on. Then I could hear the karmic's voice in some ways telling me, if you want me to do my work, then let me do my work and leave him alone right now. And I was like, okay. But I understood what they were saying, because if I keep on, it's not helping him really we trying to put this, it's not manipulate, but trying to put this vice grip on him to really for him to make the decision to start being his authentic self, the divine karmic, not the karmic, that part was saying, and I couldn't tap. So now she kind of talks to me, and I can kind of see what's going on that end. So that helps me to kind of release it, because I was like, okay, let me do my thing. I want to get to my divine masculine just as fast as you want me out of here. So we got to work together for this to start happening. And I was like, oh, okay. So my thing is, if we vice gripping, I'm doing my part, which is not doing the communication stuff. I mean, if he calls or texts or whatever, I'll talk to him, whatever it is. I don't go over and beyond that. But again, at the same time, I'm not going over and beyond communicating as far as on my end. I let her go ahead and do what she's doing on her end to make it happen. Because again, everybody know who we want to end up with. We want to end up with somebody who actually divinely loves us unconditionally. So how that looks, we'll let Source and the powers that be work that out to be. But we know right now the way this situation is not for everybody's highest good, and it's not showing the form of unconditional love for all parties that's involved. Okay, so my thing is that, so your intuition, I'm relying on it. My gut say, yeah, that's true. That might have first be saying, well, she might be saying that because she want to offset. Said, nope. My gut says, no, let her do a job. Let her go ahead and work that out with. She got to work out with him so we can make that happen. Fine. Next card in the 50, it says, the Black Madonna, Our Lady of Hermits. I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. That's the same thing again. What, does it hurt me, or am I upset about that part? Because right now we got the corona. That too was a selling point. I said, now if God done slammed it down, or sources slammed it, or powers to be had put it to this point that I really can't reach out and touch no one, then it's something else at play with that. My gut could go ahead and co-sign on that to say that it's more to this. So that means for me to release it into just to let it go and really truly put it in surrender and put it into the Father's hands, or the source or powers to be hand, to go ahead and to solve that. So my thing is pain and suffering, and that, yes, I miss my bestie, because he is my best friend. I told him that to his face. Okay, and he accepted that. I can't talk to him like that, but at the same time, I know just a little bit in that there was a little codependency on that, and so I know that I've got to go and work on that, because I want a greater capacity of love. I want to love him when he get himself right. I want to love him and say a righteous love. So I want a righteous love when it comes to him, the right way of loving him. I don't want it with all them karmic-y, whatever kind of filtrations that go along with it. So yes, so that's why, again, through that also brings pain. So that's what the 50 is bringing. So now, I'm about the masculines, what I call, but this is more so it carries the 3D, the physical energies, clear, for the divine feminine. So I'm going to use the McNasties for theirs too. Oh, here we go. It came out right here. So what's going on with the divine feminine in the 3D energies? So she has, woo-wee. All right, we got 8 of Pentacles, 3 of Chalices, and Judgment. So now we look at the 3D here. It's going on with the divine masculine is saying in so many words. Like some of us is kind of self-involved in our own things. We kind of getting, like, to me, when you have coffee or some tea or something, it's like really taking time out to really kind of like to relax. Thank you, Pop. Thank you, divine masculine. To relax. Kind of reset yourself, get yourself energized about some things, because a lot of times when you do drink, if you, like she's doing, you kind of meditate. And I know when I have my tea, I'm kind of just thinking over the day how I actually want to go about doing things. The divine masculine energies here is wanting to very romance her a little bit. It's like kind of distract her. Say, hey, This can go two ways. I get a fork in the road with this. This can represent also the divine feminine and the energies that are housed within you in the feminine avatar, which is you like, I'm busy on my work, on my grind, my Starbucks, I'm thinking about what I need to do. Your thinking part, which is the masculine side of you, is like, hey, don't forget about the fun. Don't forget about the romance, Let me kind of distract you from all that, since you all in your emotions on that. The next thing here we have here for the divine feminine here is the three of chalices, will be the three of cups, and someone might say third party energies that's there. In the three of cups energies here, however, we see that we have the divine masculine. Really, I know that's called ain't that called, this one called masturbation or something like. I'm like, oh, excuse me. No, it's the other one when she's down. This one is really like seducing. So your thinking is really trying to, at this point, seduce your emotions, divine feminine. It's like, really submit to me. I understand how you're thinking, but at the same time, I want you and your emotions to find pleasure in this. This is the overall energies that it's kind of saying. Your thinking wants to say, hey, you take this thing a little too serious. It's like, kind of calm it down, so let's kind of look at it from a different point of view. I'm about to write this down. DM 20 seconds. You see what that means. And DF say take yourself too seriously. Yeah, say this. You doing too much. You say, come on, calm down. This is what I say. At the end of the day, you know exactly what you want to be the sweet treat. As far as at the end here. And so I kind of like this, because something's telling me, spirit is telling me these cards are really much better, because it always pretty much shows the both energies, and I want to stop us from really thinking about this separation, because again, we got to start thinking about the end in mind. Now, that's another sneak preview right there, where we want to end up together. So we got to keep on thinking this, whether this union with self with the two energies on the outside. So this is where you're at. And so also in the 3D, the divine feminine said, I want judgment in my thinking. She's got her sword of truth there. She's sharpening up. It's like, listen here, I want the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God in this whole situation. I know whose cup of love I want to offer. I know right now who it is that, is I got a handle for two, like a bicycle for two. For me, for you, and you for me on a bicycle built for two. So I got that. I also understand the balance that I've got to make. I got my truth about. Oh, I'm sorry, this magician. I'm sorry, I said judgment. Oh, Jesus. Why I think judgment? She probably do want judgment about some things, but she maybe judging. Why I said that is because she's got to create. I got it. The magician. She's got to stop judging. That wasn't for the fraud and slip. That was a thing. They showed it to me on purpose like that. The judging. You got to stop judging the situation. You got to stop judging yourself. You got to stop judging the environment. In order for you to be this magician, you cannot judge, because you got to be able to, magicians create this stuff out of thin air. And if you start judging the consistency of the air, the consistency of the snap, the consistency of the hat that the rabbit comes out of, was the rabbit fed? Do the fat rabbit feel like he want to come out the hat today, or he got an attitude? This is all judgment. If you're a magician, you come in there with expectancy that, okay, I snap my fingers, I put my hand in the hat, the rabbit's gonna come out. Ain't no judgment and all that stuff. Like, oh, I put my hand in it, the rabbit might bite my hand. All that's judgment. I like that. So understanding that we in our truth. The truth is that everything else is working out for our good. It's going out for our own purpose. So again, you got the candle that's lit here. Understanding in the feminine energies, which is your emotions, which is keeping everything aflame, which is divine feminine. Most of the time is in the leadership thing, leading, creating a role model for how everything should go. So, and also in all this, knowing what she wants to put on the table. in her thinking. So she's got this magician. She's saying, I got to get my judgment together in my thinking so I can stop judging things like that, so I can make things manifest. That is my number one thing that is stopping me, and it's becoming a hurdle or a stumbling block, or they showing me one of them horses, like when they tell, like on street closures, like you can't go down the street. You're like, why? I don't see no construction down that street. And they like, no ma'am, you got to go all the way around. You be like, I'll be damned. The place is just right there. Now I got to go 2 blocks up because it's a one-way street to go right there, which is right there, and I can just park. And they like, ma'am, no, you got to keep on. You got to keep on. Am I telling by myself? You got to keep on going. Okay, so that is that. So let's get into heart of the matter of things. Let's see, for the divine masculine. Clear. No, that's good. I like that one. I'll say this talk to me. Oh, to talk to me then. For the divine masculine, he is understanding the heart of the matter that he needs to give this relationship a chance. I can hear divine feminine like, duh. Right, if we're talking about major changes, expect major changes, as they said, and we evolve it. We got to evolve to that understanding of that. And true love, okay? Let me have a clarifier for that. So we have true love here because, again, orphaned. Because, again, we feel the divine masculine feels like he's been orphaned. Like he's been left out in the cold right now. It's like my emotions is up here. I look like he's like, I haven't been honoring my emotions. Or when I thought I was when I thought that I was honoring my emotions, it was fake. Like today's word for the kids for remote learning was deceive, falsify, deceptive. He was that, and they keep on telling me it goes with this, that he was deceptive in his emotions, and he put himself out there. It's like, yeah, come on up here, and this is gonna be fun. And then he went up there and said, come on in this karma situation, into this marriage, this gonna be fun. And he's like, oh yeah, and go step on that spot, and before you know it, this thing sprung up there in the air, and like he like, well, I'll be down, I'm stuck up there. And they done went along. So he feels like right now in this situation here that he has been orphaned. He's been left out in the cold. By everybody, the karmic, the divine karmic, the divine feminine, family, friends. It's just him. And so really by him following whatever this falsified, this deceptive emotions that he was putting on at this time had interfered with him being really experiencing true love. The divine feminine has been the one that's been holding up the structure here. He's been having this kind of like somewhat showing that he's been kind of partially being guarded about his heart, but at the same time he's been open, and so he knows that he's got to kind of move into that energy to saying, listen here, I served my time about me being guarded by my heart. I don't need to be that anymore. I could take the experiences, I could take the lessons that I have learned from that, and now be able to move this into the energy of true love, okay? Also, he feels like he needs to do that because it's going to help him to get a leg up on some things. I feel here he's got here with this understanding of brute force. Once he gets that, he's going to move with brute force into the next level that he has as far as in his evolution here. As well, but he's got to nurture that idea too as well. So that's why they say it's hierarchy or hierarchical structure there that you've got to kind of go along in order to get to that. Next thing about give your relationship a chance. Why he has to work on his partnership, because it's going to help him to breathe. You already seen here, he look like he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right there. Ain't no way he breathing with all that or whatever it is. He about 2 seconds from a heart attack there, because you tell he just enraged by something. So he needs to be able to do that, because that's going to breathe. It's going to help to bring him peace with wherever he is. So that's why he needs to give this relationship a chance, because currently where he's at is just madness going on. Okay. All right. Next thing that we have to do right here is for the divine feminine. What's the heart of the matter for her? Let me do that again. If it is so, let it come back. out. What's the heart of the matter for the divine feminine? The divine feminine. Whoa, Jesus Lord. Stop. That ain't the one. It's this one. I looked at that and then lost grip on the others. Excuse me. My memories, like the corners of my mouth. Memories of the way we were. Scatter pictures of the times we left behind. Oh, the way we were. All right. All right, it's time rewritten every line. All right, so what we need to do again is release your ex. So it seems like from the song that they brought to me again, it's about releasing this past. The time has come to clear your energies. You've gotten some more knowledge about it. It's not a lot. You got various levels of knowledge that you have. You got small trees, look like bonsai trees, to me almost, which means like more of a, reminding me of like Buddha and how you meditate and cut things and pruning things, as well as on this knowledge. What things serve its purpose, what things that does not serve its purpose. I got to feel my nose. And understanding how you can deal with that to get rid of the illusions, which is, again, in order for you to actually trust your intuition, like I said about your gut, you've got to be release these burdens. These burdens have you tied down. They got you tied up. Some of them in a, hold on one second, something in hold on one second. I'll get it to you. Hold on. What you talking about battery life? Who care about battery life? Yeah. This way. Okay, so you need to get rid of the ex because, again, this is burdening you. Something about the communication. So maybe somebody communicated something with you, or you need to communicate something. It might be written. I'm getting this here that maybe had triggered you, maybe draw light onto you as far as what needs to be worked out and what needs to be fixed. Because, again, once you release this X here, some serendipitous events is going to start happening, which you might look at as being fortuitous. We'll say, oh, this is lucky. But again, what did we tell you about that earlier? About this saint that from up right there in the 50, they're trying to make sure that these miraculous events happen that helps you to open up these channels for possibilities. You got to get rid of that burden because it's not helping you to be able to see these things clearly. Okay, so this is why you need to do that. Okay, another thing for that release your exes, I think a burden might be, is also starting to forgive yourself, forgive your divine masculine as well. That came to me this morning when after I was listening to Jupiter 11:11, which was a point of saying, you know what, when a divine masculine or will your divine counterpart probably will start making their way to you. Once he was saying that the divine masculine had a problem with who he was. Once he starts seeing that those things that, and because he's also rejected you and went to separations because he's scared, she's talked about that. But once the divine masculine starts seeing those parts that he either somewhat, they always had like a fork in the road, like a split thing when he looks at you or your divine counterpart. We're the feminists, so I talk about the divine masculine. When he looks at you, he sees one thing, one part he admired, but he knows that in some ways he don't know if he's able to obtain it because you live a life so spiritual, so free, so that. Second part is he's kind of envied that. Some part to him, he disliked that. So now he's got to get to a point when he can embrace that which he sees in you, to say, hey, I got that too. Hey, I see that in her that I don't like, But actually, that stuff that's in me, I don't like. And I need to learn how to embrace that and take that in. When he gets to that point that it's like, hey, she's living the life that I want to, and I want to join in with that because that's actually me that she's expressing, and I'm okay with the way she expresses herself. That's when another part of the union probably will also take place, because again, and that's the same thing with the divine feminine. Once she start looking at the divine masculine for all the things that she love and hate, like they say, it's a thin line between love and hate because they kind of like kissing cousins. Once he looks at, and you look at your divine master and some of those things that you dislike, and some of those things that you love, and you find out that those things are also housed in you, and you embrace those things, that is when both of you are a click for yourself, and then that's when you start to have union as well. Myself and Benita, we talked about that one day, and I took that to like the next level of how that's probably going to happen as far as union. You have to also the divine feminines in your heart space, which is in the heart of the matter, is a heart-to-heart conversation. He says that's funny. He said the same thing. He wants to have that. The divine masculine stated that he wanted to have that in the 3D. If your divine masculine contacts you and he seems like he maybe want to comment like you ain't on that excuse me, shit at all, excuse me. I was sneezing. That's a lie. Or not. But I see 50-50. But just in case, that means change with God force, change with God force. Or Jubilee, okay? As Jubilee 11:11 says. So my thing is he's on that stuff and he really truly wants to have that heart-to-heart level. And we talk about from a place of being spiritually mature. Then, hey, let's do this. Because, again, having that honest discussion, it helps you to get a real idea as to where he is. Is he ready or is he not ready? Okay, well, then let me keep on pushing with my bliss. And then you go on and let me send you on your merry way because you don't look like you're ready yet. You almost there, but you got like another in the hierarchy or the evolution of you as the divine masculine, as a man. You got still some evolving to go, okay? But you know that you got to do that because it's time to go emotionally. Now, this time to go emotionally, you moving into that energy. It's either you're saying, listen here, it's time to go for you, divine masculine, us together, or it's either you say it's time for me to go because I can't stay right here. I'm staying stagnant. I'm going to practice patience. Patience means to stay, not to stay, and it does not mean to stay and do nothing. It means to keep on doing what you're doing and then allow and trust that the powers that be or source are doing their job while you release and surrender. Practice surrender. That is patience. That's the same thing what you're saying. Emotionally, you might have to say, okay, that's it. It's deuces. I'm going to have to physically walk away, or you might be just detached. This is what this is after this heart-to-heart situation. Conversation. Again, also the heart of the matter is, to me, is maybe just having that connection with your heart as well, emotionally, about this stuff. And some things it's time to go some place that you have been residing emotionally. You might also say, you know what, I done stayed in this place or this situation too long in my heart space, and it's time for me to go on ahead and move emotionally. That's more on a spiritual level. You know, some things I've still been housing or hurting from the divine master, what he's done. I want this union, but I haven't been willing to forgive. Okay, well then it's time for you to get out of that heart space of unforgiveness and then find a way to forgive. Okay, next thing is they want in the heart of the matter for you to be keep it open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations, so you need to be able to do that, because again, your divine masculine is really paying attention and looking at you. You got some of this divine, how you're nurturing yourself in understanding this open mind. But I also see here, we talked about this, when I see that and they're grown like that, to me it seems like you still got some child issues, divine feminine, that you got to kind of work with. But this childhood issues that you have, I will say this, she looks more happier. She looks more receptive than that other one that blocks. It's another card there where she's blocking and it's like, what you want? You ain't talking to her. But this one is like, hey, so it seems like to me when I look at this card, some of you all have been doing the work because she's very entertained with what the divine masculine is bringing. And she doesn't seem like she's threatened, which lets me know you're ready because you understand that this divine masculine comes and he's different than you. He's not the same as you, as your usual type that you usually have. And so you're going to let, at that point, let the fates get going back to this, the miracle that's going to come about. Trusting your instinct. That's why I see that to me looks like trust is involved. And that pain and capacity went with this heart to heart. So again, you're letting the fates align things up. And you're going at this blindly. You just don't know. So, but you just knowing that you again is trusting and then believing that again, trust is by faith, not by sight. This is what you're doing here because I felt trust in that card there. And what are you? I'm gonna stop right there. What are you? Woohoo. And what's the shadow work you got to work on with this here? For divine masculine, masquerade, you walking around like everything is all right, but it's not. You got an overactive crown chakra. You got the divine masculine. If I was you, I start working on them lower chakras to bring some of that energy down. For the divine feminine, the things, your environment, people, they're draining you. You got a lot of people tapping into your energies. You're trying to be for everybody. You ain't for yourself. Oh, that's nice. And here, divine feminine, you're obsessive. You're obsessive so much about what's happening with this divine masculine in this situation that you're not able to see the light. You're not really gaining enlightenment, and your crown chakra is overactive. You keep on thinking about what are you doing with the comment. They looking like, I look on Facebook, they look so happy together and yada, yada, yada. And it's making you blind. You're obsessed about some things. Something you're obsessed about as well. And you need to kind of let that go so you can truly see your enlightenment. See where you're actually going. What things need to change? I'm trying to go through this quickly because I'm getting an hour of power. Clear. For the divine masculine, what needs to change? Retirement. You got to let go of some things that no longer suit you. You've been working, but you got to let it go. Work. So you got to work with in order for this retirement, you got to get your passion, your spiritual passion about something. In your spirit, you got to get passionate about something. You got to illuminate some things. You got to deal with that sacral energy again that we said about evolution, the orange. Again, being able to, how you creatively dealing with getting or ending something. How you able to make those connections with others. Also, how you standing in your power as well. Because how you stand in your power is the center of it all right there. Okay, for the divine feminine, you got a lot. Your relationship dynamics, you got to deal with that. You got to change that energies. Again, you got orange too as well. So you got, again, your sacral, how you relating with others, how you creatively find the solutions to things. You got the purple there, which again will be represented by your crown chakra as well. So your crown chakra, you need to do that as far as how you're thinking about it, and you got your heart as well. You have also, here's again, crown. Take the next step now. So you need to do as far as your evolution right where you are. Take whatever next step that you have been guided to do in your instinct, okay, or you're in your gut, okay. And then also next you have hobbies, which to me is find other interests, follow your bliss, start on that mission and purpose, find you something else to do to keep yourself entertained in the meanwhile, while the divine masculine is figuring out what he's going to do on his end, okay. Next thing you have surrender. How do you need to surrender? Clear. Divine masculine, how do you need to surrender? I like this is calling me. Surrender obsessive thinking. That goes with this card right here, don't it? So again, if you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. How does the divine feminine needs to surrender with the current energies? Whoa, got some flyers. That's good there. That means really with actions. So divine feminine needs to surrender negative thinking. That's again them burdens. When you have control over your thoughts, when your negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. Okay, that goes. Kathy D talked about this. I remember one time she's like, you know, when you hit that critic, the inner critic, you say thank you for sharing, and then say I heard you, thank you for sharing. However, I'm still going to do X, Y, and Z, or I'm going to do this because this is going to make for my greatest purpose or for my greatest good. You also need to surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. Okay, that sounds good to me. It's like let the sun shine in, the sunlight in. What do you have to do as far as, I figure I was kind of going over because spirit's like, you can't leave in there and you don't get no solutions. We don't believe in that. Clip, it popped again. Okay, for the divine masculine, you need to surrender. I already said that. You need to find balance right there. Maybe you have to stand on your head to let all the blood rush down to your mind and just get out of the body for a second, But then also remember your past and your future. You need to stay present. This right here is the future. That's this is the future. That's the past. You got to stay present. Okay, then you got to relax in the meantime. For the divine feminine, how can you be divine? And say, no, I showed you 3 cards. Yes, you did. Okay, you got Lilith, goddess of power, right here. Understanding even with the karmic energies or things that go negativity going around you. Learn how to get knowledge in that. Learn how to be still vulnerable and still protect your innocence. That's what they brought to me about the whole situation. And still, by doing that, even in darkness, you are creating your own power. Also have wisdom in your divinity. Look at things that you're placing on the table. Look at some ancient things that you have there. This is another thing as far as communication that was written here, like another scroll. Here, scrolls are used to write messages or to write down history, those things. What things are you scrolling? Maybe you need to also, I know Kathy D is a real big person on journaling. Maybe since they got writing in here, it's that you writing and receiving messages that you don't. How about you start writing some messages that maybe could get rid of some of that energies that you have, or maybe start writing things that you want to see actually form. Then you got sacred sexuality. I always put it upside down. Find out how you can bring the divine feminine and divine feminine's energies together. Being able to create that merge and be able to be all right with the skin that you're actually in, so you can be able to create and manifest in that energy of that sexuality, being okay with the skin that you're actually in. Okay, and then what is the message that the divine masculine wants to say to the divine feminine? What's the message? Clear. The divine masculine wants to say to the divine feminine, treasure your loved ones. It's important to love others deeply. They said earlier for you to get somebody to help you, and they also saying love the ones that you with currently. Get to know each other. Learn to meet another's needs. For love is important for a relationship to grow. Understand yourself. Understand the divine feminine and divine masculine energies is housed within yourself. Learn also to love and know your divine counterpart, even in the 3D. That's where that gut and intuition goes, because you're going to need that, because that's going to go a long way when you come into union with your divine counterpart. You're going to have to be able to rely on that gut, not what you're seeing, not what he's saying, not what he's doing, but that gut. Okay. All right, and so the Divine Feminine wants to say to the Divine Master, spend some quality time together. It's imperative that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationships with, listening and talking to each other. So she's saying she's in agreement about having this heart-to-heart talk that you even had said through the cards earlier in the 3D, where it's just like, we just give me 20 seconds where I just stare and we don't say anything. Just give me that 20 seconds. So I could be able to just make that connection with you. And then from that point on, the world will become right all over again. All right, then. If you want the Divine Masculine cards, please go to DivineUnisouls11.co. They're $44. That's including shipping. These are 88 cards in all. You got your major, your minor, and your character traits, which act as clarifiers for the major and the minors. Again, go to Jupiter 1111's site, risewithjupiter.com, so you can get your own copy about the 411, which is just $47, which is very reasonable price for the hours and hours of master classes that you have. Also, the people who had talked, like myself, the playground, manifesting beautifully. Also, Jupiter 11 does the chakra on there. David from Soul Mission is on there, and also Sasha from Divine Pisces 222 is given there. And everybody that presented all gave a master class as well with that. So this is a wonderful thing. So make sure you take advantage and you get that as well. And then while you're over there at the DivineUnisouls11.co, look at what other things had there, because April talked about very much so in the 411 how my heart meditation is really very, very good thing for you to have to open up your heart. And the process of how I do it is gradual and is able to be receptive from your mind and your spirit and your heart. She said, and the way it was done, it helps you to stop fighting those that I see here with the overactive crown. That looks like that's a very good chakra, a very good meditation that you should have in your library if you don't have it. All right, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, namago. Love you. Goodbye.